The reason why we started the IN8 Summit was because for many, many years living in Italy, we had a lot of friends of ours come to spend time with us, and when they would come over, we'd hear the stories back from Australia and what it was like being a chiropractor. And the interesting thing was, I wasn't that excited by what I was hearing. A lot of the time there were stories around chiros couldn't no longer take a full spine set of x-rays, only 2 views. There was stories around us maybe not adjusting kids anymore, and the whole Safer Care Australia program that came out. Plus there's even these thoughts around us not adjusting necks at some stage. So all these rumours were flying back and forth from our friends, and we were just loving our life living in Italy. And I thought, if I'm ever going to come to Australia one day, we'd love to be able to have a community where it was similar to Chiro Europe. That was a big reason why we wanted to kind of create I suppose, a movement or a culture or a community where it was similar to the Chiro Europe community, where people stuck together and they wouldn't stand up and would be upset about losing their rights to take x-rays, or they would stand up for losing, if someone challenged them to adjusting someone's neck and say, where's the proof or the evidence behind that? They would say, well, we're chiropractors and that's what we do. So I just like the certainty in the Chiro Europe community, and I wasn't hearing that coming from a lot of my friends that were coming out to visit and spend time with us in Australia. So, Gab, tell me, the IN8 Summit has been awesome for a couple of years, and you are kind of the start of the whole IN8 Summit. It was your idea, and it stemmed out of the Sweat Lodge that we did at one of the Inner Winners programs. Can you elaborate on the story?
I wouldn't say it was my idea, but as in a small group of us, we were talking about how fantastic it would be to have an incredible community of chiropractors in Australia that had each other's back, were excited to see each other succeed, and could get together and just enjoy our time with each other whilst learning more about chiropractic and getting excited about all the things that we get excited about when we're together socially, which is philosophy, business, life, all of those things. And when we were students, the most exciting thing for us was always going to seminars. And for some reason over the years, the seminars that we loved and enjoyed going to had fizzled out, and at that point in time didn't exist anymore. And we really saw that that was having a huge impact on the Australian community. There were lots of different things that were happening or weren't happening because people weren't united and weren't working together necessarily. And there were lots of sort of small spot fires and in-house fights, it seemed, as a result of that. So we were really keen to spark up the community again and get people excited about just gathering and loving what we do and why we do it. And because at the time we were living in Europe, we had that in Europe, and we were so excited to be able to bring some of that back to Australia. So that small group of us who were together in the beginning talking about this decided, let's just do it next weekend. And so we literally went from the idea to telling people let's get together next week to the following week having about 60 people in the room in a lecture theatre at Latrobe University. And initially the idea was, let's get the students enjoying the things that we enjoyed when we were students. But really what was really clear to us at the end of that was that the chiropractors in the room wanted it as much as the students did. And so that was the very beginning. And the following year we held it was the second, but it was the first real IN8 Summit, for chiropractors, students, CAs and everybody. And it's just gone from strength